This might be the most unfortunate man you've ever seen. Not only does he have to build his house in the wild all by himself, even the place he sleeps in was fought over with wild boars. The man's name is George. Tired of the deceit and rivalry of city life, he decided to live in the wilderness. But surviving out here is no easy task. George carefully selected a perfect spot, then picked up a shovel and started laying the foundation. He leveled out a piece of land, cut several straight tree trunks, then trimmed them to appropriate lengths. He placed them into holes in the ground, and with the help of large stones, anchored them deeply into the soil. After some hard work, a roof frame slowly began to take shape, but there was still a long way to go before the shelter was complete. George chopped more short logs of equal length, perfect materials for roofing. To make the shelter sturdier, he hammered the wall posts deep into the ground with large rocks and tightly bound them with vines so the inside could resist wild animal attacks. In addition, George designed a heating system for the shelter. He crushed clay and kneaded it into balls, then gathered many evenly shaped stones, stacked them layer by layer using the clay. Once completed, it became a simple fireplace. In the following days, he used more clay to finish the remaining parts of the roof. He lit a pile of wood shavings, mainly to dry the clay quickly. On the other side, he began crafting doors and windows for the shelter. For this, thinner branches were used because they were lighter and more convenient. George tied the branches together with dry grass, thus making a skylight. Using the same method, he crafted a front door. At this point, doesn't it feel a little like a hobbit house? To make the shelter more hidden, George covered the roof with dirt, then found fallen leaves in the forest and used them to fill in the gaps between the wooden walls. He added another layer of crushed soil on top to perfectly camouflage the shelter, while also providing insulation. For aesthetics, George landscaped the surroundings, laying grass and transplanting tall plants. To help the shelter blend better with the environment, he added extensive camouflage to the roof. After a long day of hard work, George was starving. He built up the fire, then took out his treasured aged-cured meat, the golden crispy skin wrapped around juicy tender meat, paired with wild cucumbers, mushrooms, and freshly picked tomatoes, all skewered and roasted over the fire for half an hour. With a gentle bite, he first tasted the refreshing crunch of vegetables, then the explosion of meat juices. The unique flavor of smoked meat combined with savory richness instantly flooded his mouth. At that moment, even a gourmet feast couldn't compare. Late at night, George fell asleep under the dim candlelight, but not long after, uninvited guests arrived. Wild boars, drawn by the smell of food, prowled around the shelter. In the pitch-black forest, anyone would be on edge hearing such noises. Luckily, when they found no food, the wild boars quickly left. George drifted back into sleep once again.